Most men think one orgasm is the finish line, but what if you could blow his mind so hard he begs you to stop, and then 5 minutes later begs you not to? I'm about to give you 5 secrets that make him experience not just one, but wave after wave of pleasure, and yes, he'll love every second of it. And before you think this is complicated, it's not. This is about tiny, powerful shifts in the way you touch, tease, and connect. Once you know these, you'll never look at intimacy the same way again, and he'll never look at you the same way either. If you're getting ideas already, wait until you hear the last secret, because it's the one that makes him crave only you. So stay with me. You're about to completely rewrite the way he thinks about intimacy. Most men have been told a false story about their bodies. A belief that says their sexual journey is a straight line, with a start, a middle, and one single end. We grow up being taught that male pleasure is simple. Arousal, penetration, ejaculation, then done. Curtain closes, the end. But what if that wasn't the end at all? What if a man wasn't limited to just one climax per encounter? What if you could feel several orgasms in a row, each with more intensity, more energy, and more pleasure than you ever thought possible? Because here's the truth. Men are not naturally restricted to one orgasm. The real limits come from habits, lack of practice, and the belief that male pleasure must follow one set path. Once you release that idea and learn the 5 methods I'm about to share, you'll open the door to a whole new world of intimacy. A world where orgasm isn't the final point but an ongoing experience. The first and most important technique is learning to separate orgasm from ejaculation. For most men, these two things feel like they always happen together. You build up arousal, the tension increases, and then there's an uncontrollable release. Along with that release comes ejaculation, which usually marks the end of the moment. But orgasm and ejaculation are not the same. Ejaculation is a physical release of fluid. Orgasm is a wave of energy, a full body contraction of pleasure. If you can learn to split the two apart, you can have multiple orgasms without ejaculating. This means you don't lose energy, you don't need a long recovery time, and you can keep going. Think of ejaculation as spending all your energy in one moment, while orgasm without ejaculation is like sipping the energy slowly, recycling it, and enjoying it without burning it all at once. This is the base of multi-orgasmic masculinity. So how do you begin? It starts with paying attention to your arousal levels. Many men rush through sex so quickly, aiming for the finish line, that they never notice the gentle build-up, the small waves of excitement that lead to the big release. You need to train your body to notice these stages. On a scale of 1 to 10, most men push forward until they hit a 9, the point where there's no way back. The training is to slow down. When you're at a 6 or 7, learn to stay there without going over. When you feel that peak approaching, instead of moving faster, you slow down. You breathe deeply. You shift your focus from just your groin to your entire body. This rewires your system to understand that orgasmic pleasure can be spread out instead of trapped in one explosive moment. Breathing is the hidden key to controlling orgasms. Most men hold their breath when they get close to climax, and this creates tension that pushes them over the edge. But when you breathe slowly, deeply, and with purpose, you spread the energy through your whole body. Instead of the pleasure being locked in one spot, it flows into your chest, your stomach, your legs. You start to feel rolling waves of energy instead of a single quick burst. This is where the second technique comes in, using the power of the pelvic floor. But for now, just understand that breathing and awareness give you control. Without them, you're at the mercy of reflexes. With them, you are the one guiding the experience. Think about it. Women can often have multiple orgasms because their bodies reset faster. But men are taught they can't, that once they climax, it's finished. This is not a biological truth, it's cultural programming. All over the world, there are men who have learned to orgasm many times in one encounter without ejaculating, who can keep going for hours, and who can bring their partners to incredible heights of pleasure without feeling drained themselves. You can do this too. But it starts with this first rule: orgasm is not the same thing as ejaculation. If there's only one thing you take from this, let it be this: your body can do far more than you've been told. Before moving on to the second method, imagine how your intimacy would change if you mastered this skill. Picture being with your partner and, instead of collapsing in exhaustion after one release, you're able to continue. Picture giving her wave after wave of passion while your energy and desire stay strong. Picture the surprise on her face when she realizes you're not finished yet, that you can keep exploring, connecting, and pleasuring her without needing to stop. That's not just a physical advantage, it's an emotional shift. She won't just see you as someone who quickly satisfies himself, she'll see you as a man who is in control of his body, his energy, and his desire for her. That kind of mastery is magnetic. It makes her want you more because it proves that sex with you is unpredictable, exciting, and full of possibilities. This takes us to the second method, which builds on the first. If separating orgasm from ejaculation is about awareness and breathing, the next step is about control and strength. It's about learning to use the muscles in your body that most men ignore, muscles that allow you to direct, hold, and expand orgasmic energy. This is the difference between being swept away by pleasure and mastering it so you can enjoy it again and again. The second technique is the power of the pelvic floor. If the first stage was realizing that orgasm and ejaculation are separate, the second is developing the physical strength to hold orgasmic energy in your body and redirect it instead of releasing it all at once. Many men go through life disconnected from their pelvic floor. They don't train it, they don't even think about it. As a result, they have no control when they need it most. But if you strengthen and become aware of these muscles, you gain the ability to decide when and how often you orgasm. So what is the pelvic floor? It's a group of muscles forming a kind of hammock at the base of your pelvis. These muscles support your bladder, your bowels, and yes, your sexual performance. If they're weak and ignored, your body follows its usual program. Arousal builds, tension increases, and when those muscles contract on their own, ejaculation happens. But when you build strength and learn to consciously control them, you can stop that reflex. You can have orgasmic contractions without ejaculation. You can hold the energy in and let it spread through your body. This is the physical key to having multiple orgasms as a man. How do you train your pelvic floor? The easiest and best known way is with the Kegel exercise. It's the same muscle you use to stop your urine midstream. Contract it, hold for a few seconds, then relax. Do this every day. Over time, you'll feel more control and strength, and that control will completely change the way you experience intimacy. Gradually increase the length and strength of each hold. Over time, you'll realize you can tighten and relax this muscle whenever you want. That awareness alone gives you a kind of control most men never develop. But here's the important part. Don't just do this as a mechanical exercise. Combine it with deep breathing. When you breathe in, imagine drawing energy into your pelvic floor. When you breathe out, relax the muscle and picture that energy spreading through your upper body. This is how you start feeling waves of pleasure that aren't stuck only in your genitals. Another useful practice is the reverse Kegel. Instead of tightening, you purposely relax and push outwards slightly. This stops you from making the common mistake of over-clenching, which can actually reduce your stamina. Real mastery comes from balancing tightening and loosening, strength and gentleness. Because orgasm isn't about tensing every muscle you have. It's about guiding the right energy at the right moment. Now picture this in a real moment of intimacy. You're with your partner and you feel yourself getting close to the edge. Most men panic here. They either speed up and finish or stop completely in frustration. But with pelvic floor control, you have a better option. You slow your movements, take a deep breath, contract those pelvic muscles, and intentionally move the energy upward instead of letting it spill out. You hold it, feel the wave of orgasm move through your body, into your chest, even up into your head, but you don't release. You've just had a non-ejaculatory orgasm. Your body trembles, your mind is buzzing, yet you still have full energy and can keep going. Now you're ready for another wave. This is how multiple orgasms become possible. Your partner will feel the difference instantly. She'll notice you don't collapse or pull away after climax. You remain present, engaged, and still wanting her. She will feel your stamina, not just in lasting longer, but in your passion. Sex with you stops feeling like a countdown to the end and starts feeling like a limitless adventure. That shift changes her entire experience of being intimate with you. There's also something even deeper that happens when you hold orgasmic energy without release. You unlock what's called a full body orgasm. Instead of all the pleasure staying in one place, it spreads everywhere. Your legs shake, your chest fills with bliss, your scalp tingles. You might even feel emotional, laughing, crying, or sensing a kind of deep connection. This is a level of intimacy most men never touch, but it's available when you master your pelvic floor. There's also a big mental shift that comes with this skill. Many men live with the constant worry of finishing too soon. They stress about premature ejaculation, about disappointing their partner, about not lasting long enough. That stress actually makes the problem worse. But when you know you can stop, redirect, and enjoy pleasure without release, that fear disappears. You can fully relax and be present. You start focusing on her experience instead of obsessing over your own. Ironically, this makes you even more attractive because she can feel your confidence and control. She senses that intimacy with you isn't about rushing or clumsy moments. It's about deep, lasting connection. This naturally leads to the third technique, edging and wave riding. If the second method gave you the muscle control to hold orgasmic energy, this one teaches you to play with it, to explore its edges, so you can experience multiple orgasms one after another. It's not enough to simply have control. You need to learn how to ride those waves of pleasure without letting them knock you over. This is why edging is such powerful training. Edging is the practice of bringing yourself, or letting your partner bring you, right to the point just before orgasm, then easing off before ejaculation happens. You ride that peak until you're at an 8 or 9 out of 10 in arousal, then slow down, breathe, and let yourself drop back to a 6. Then you build up again and pull back again. You repeat this over and over. This trains your body to understand that orgasm does not always mean release. You're retraining your nervous system to hold more energy, more pleasure, more intensity without losing it. Why is this so effective? Because most men's bodies are trained for instant gratification. The moment the wave builds, they finish. But with edging, you learn you can feel that overwhelming sensation and still stay in control. This builds stamina, both physically and mentally. You stop being a passenger to your arousal and start being the driver. And once you can do that, you unlock the ability to stack orgasm after orgasm. Here's how to train it. Start alone so you can focus on self-awareness. Don't rush. Build slowly. Keep breathing. When you feel yourself getting close to the point of no return, either stop or slow right down. Contract your pelvic muscles. Take long, deep breaths. Push that energy upward. Wait until the intensity drops. Then start again. At first it might feel a little frustrating because you'll want the release. But over time you'll notice something incredible. Each time you edge, your sensitivity grows. The pleasure feels richer and you start having orgasmic waves without ejaculation. The more you train, the more waves you can ride in one session. When you bring this into intimacy with a partner, the experience changes completely. Instead of the usual pattern, arousal, penetration, climax, done, you create a rhythm. You build intensity, slow down, then build again. She starts to realize that sex with you is not just physical, it's a journey. The best part is, edging works for her too. When you master it, you can help her ride her own waves, building more desire and deeper release. Together, you create wave after wave, making the experience unforgettable. And then there's wave riding. If edging is about stepping back from the edge, wave riding is about staying right at the peak and letting it carry you without tipping over. Imagine surfing. You're balancing on something powerful, letting it push you forward, but you're not letting it crash. That's exactly what wave riding feels like in a sexual sense. You feel the pulsing contractions, the tingles, the rush of pleasure, yet you stay fully aware, breathing deeply, moving with the sensation instead of fighting it. Then, when that wave fades, another rises, and then another. This is how men can have multiple orgasms. There's also a mental change that happens. You stop seeing orgasm as the final goal or finish line. When you practice edging and wave riding, you begin to understand that orgasm isn't the end, it's the journey itself. You no longer chase one big release. You enjoy the rolling thunder of repeated waves. That shift in thinking is what allows you to last longer, connect more deeply, and create moments that feel plentiful instead of rare. And abundance is attractive when your partner realizes you're not limited, that you can keep giving, keep exploring, keep feeling. She'll start to see you in a new light. She'll want you not just for the physical side, but for the emotional depth that comes with it. Communication is another key piece of this method. When you're practicing edging with a partner, tell her what's happening. Say something like, "I want to slow down because I want this to last." She'll feel flattered that you want to extend the experience with her. She'll notice you're not rushing, and she'll begin to follow your lead. She might tease you, slow herself down, or move in sync with your rhythm. Now, it's not just you practicing control, it's the two of you playing with energy together. That shared awareness builds a closeness that goes far beyond just the physical. Some might wonder, won't this feel frustrating? Won't it be like teasing without satisfaction? The answer is no, because the pleasure you feel while edging is often stronger than a single quick release. You're stacking sensations, building layers of energy, and turning your whole body alive from head to toe. By the time you finally decide to ejaculate, if you even choose to, the release will be far more powerful than anything you've experienced before. And if you decide not to, you'll still feel wave after wave of orgasmic bliss that leaves you fulfilled and energized instead of drained. This brings us to the fourth technique, energy redirection and full body orgasm. This is the advanced form of wave riding. Once you've learned to hold the energy, the next step is to move it, to send that orgasmic sensation beyond your genitals, up through your body and out to every nerve. This is where intimacy becomes almost spiritual, where orgasm transforms from a local release into a whole body event. When you learn this, not only do you experience multiple orgasms, but you also see intimacy in a completely new way. Something deeper, more connected, and lasting. Up until now, you've learnt to separate orgasm from ejaculation, strengthen your pelvic floor for control, and practice edging and wave riding to stack waves of pleasure. Now you take all of that and turn orgasm into something far greater than you imagined, because orgasm doesn't need to stay locked in your pelvis. It can move, it can rise, it can spread through your entire body like electricity, turning sex into a complete body experience that leaves you feeling euphoric, connected, and fully alive. This is the line between simple release and true transcendence. The way to redirect energy starts with breath and awareness. When you feel orgasm building, instead of tightening up and letting it explode outward, breathe in deeply and imagine drawing that energy upward. Picture it rising from your pelvis to your stomach, chest, throat, and even to the top of your head. Then breathe out slowly, letting your body shake or shiver as the sensation spreads. At first it may feel gentle, maybe just a warm glow in your chest or a light tingling along your spine. But the more you practice, the more powerful it becomes, until you realize your whole body can orgasm. Your toes, your scalp, even your fingertips can light up with pleasure when you learn to move this energy. Movement can help. Don't stay still. Let your hips sway, your back arch, your chest open. Movement encourages the energy to flow. Sound helps too. Moaning, sighing, or letting out a deep breath frees tension and allows orgasm to spread. Sound isn't only a reaction, it's a tool for guiding the sensation instead of locking it in place. The most amazing part is that after a full body orgasm, you don't collapse. You don't feel drained. You feel charged, alert, and glowing from the inside out. This is why multi-orgasmic men often say they have more energy after sex, not less. Because they're not constantly losing life force through ejaculation. They're recycling it, boosting it, and enjoying it again and again. Your partner will notice this too. She'll feel that your orgasms are not just local, they're expansive. She'll see your body shaking, hear your breath, and sense your energy radiating. That intensity draws her deeper into the experience. It stops being just sex and becomes a shared state of ecstasy. She'll want to ride those waves with you, and when she does, the two of you find a rhythm of connection that feels almost spiritual. This is when intimacy becomes a bonding experience far beyond the physical. And that's what makes you unforgettable. Which brings us to the final stage, afterglow mastery. Even after multiple orgasms, after wave of pleasure, there's one last part most men overlook, yet it's the part that makes the whole experience stay with her for a lifetime. Afterglow mastery is about what happens once the peak has passed. When the intensity has faded, your breathing is calmer, and you're lying together. For most men, this is the moment they pull away, roll over, or drift off to sleep. But if you truly want to master intimacy, this is the time to deepen the connection. The reason is simple. The brain doesn't only remember the peak moments, it remembers how they end. Psychologists call this the peak end rule. If the ending feels cold or rushed, it changes how the entire experience is remembered. But if the ending is warm, close, and intimate, it makes everything before it feel even better. That's why afterglow isn't just a cuddle. It's the last memory she keeps from the night. It's the final layer of your multi-orgasmic experience that ensures the connection stays alive in her mind long after. To master afterglow, stay present. Don't move away from her body, stay close. Keep your skin touching hers. Hold her. Kiss her forehead. Run your fingers slowly over her back. Let her feel that you still want closeness, that intimacy with you doesn't stop at orgasm. It continues and it deepens. That's what wave riding feels like in a sexual sense. You feel the tightening, the tingling, the rush of pleasure, but you stay present, breathing deeply and moving with the sensation instead of fighting it. Then, as one wave fades, another builds, and then another. This is how men can experience multiple orgasms. There's also a big mental shift here. Most men grow up thinking the peak orgasm is the goal, the finish line. But when you practice edging and wave riding, you realize orgasm isn't the ending, it's part of the journey. You stop chasing one huge release and instead enjoy the rolling thunder of repeated waves. That change in thinking is what helps you last longer, connect more deeply, and create moments that feel abundant rather than scarce. And abundance is attractive. When your partner senses you're not limited, that you can keep giving, keep exploring, keep feeling, she's going to see you in a new light. She'll want you, not only for the physical pleasure, but also for the emotional depth that comes with it. Another key part of this is communication. When you practice edging with your partner, tell her your intention. Say something like, "I want to slow this down because I want it to last." She'll feel flattered that you want to extend the experience. She'll appreciate you not rushing, and she might even start matching your pace. She could tease you, slow her own movements, or sync to your rhythm. Now it's not just you controlling your energy, it's both of you playing with it together. Shared awareness builds intimacy that goes far beyond physical release. Some might wonder, won't this just make sex frustrating? Won't it feel like teasing without satisfaction? The truth is no. The pleasure you feel during edging is often stronger than a single quick release. You're stacking sensations, building layers of energy, creating a body that feels alive from head to toe. By the time you finally decide to release, if you choose to, it will be far more powerful than usual. And if you don't release, you'll still feel wave after wave of bliss that leaves you fulfilled and energized, not tired. This leads into the next stage, energy redirection and full body orgasm. This is the advanced form of